1. Yo, welcome back to the DLC podcast. We're talking games, movies, all things in between. It has been a long while since us three have been here and since we had a podcast. That being said,
we're gonna do it. We're gonna release one every day this week.
You know, I had that mindset at one point when we were getting the podcast going. We were doing a podcast 3 times a week. It was crazy.
Look at me promising these kids and breaking their hearts. Like I'm their dad or something. I'm sorry.
Anyways, the topic of today is what game got us into gaming. And just to clarify this, because, you know, some people would assume it could be the first game they've ever played, which I'm sure it's different now, but at one point, the majority was like Mario on the NES, or just practically any Mario game for the most part. That was they'll say that's the first game I played and been playing ever since, right? But the thing with that is, huh?
So it was the Atari for me.
Oh, shut up.
It was the Atari.
Where? Who had an Atari, Jacob?
Marcos and Benny bought us one.
I don't remember this.
When we still live in the apartments. You were young, dude. I think you were like 1.
Maybe. But anyways,
follow you don't remember it. 12 whole months and you can't remember it, Ice? That's on you.
I'm sorry.
That's on you.
And I forgot to do introductions. I'm Isaac. That's Jeremiah. You've seen him stream every now and again. And this is my brother Jacob.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to what I was saying. The issue was saying, you know, the first game we played, and it could be the first game you've ever played. That could be the game that got you into gaming. Like, I don't know. But, you know, our oldest brother was into gaming, and then he stopped. He just stopped. Like, he enjoyed Super Mario World, he enjoyed Yoshi Story, he enjoyed all these games, but nothing kept him gaming. He did it as a kid, and then it was like, all right, I'm done. Whereas I still play, Jacob still plays, Jeremiah still plays. So this is more, Jacob tries, but this is more of like what game kept us in the genre, like in the fandom. So that being said, GCJ, what game got you into gaming?
I'll tell you.
Bro.
Okay. Oh, are you all right now? Because I am. I'd have to say, if I had to pick a game,
Marvel Nemesis.
That was a good game.
I would say it was. I mean, it's a tie between two, both on the PlayStation 1. Honestly, because we had a Super Nintendo a little late in life, but we were able to get a PlayStation 1 pretty early in our life compared to every other system. It's like, oh, this is great. Like, it's pretty new, pretty fresh, and we want it. We want to play it.
Was it the big PlayStation, or was it the mini PlayStation 1?
The big. We actually got it pretty quickly. My old man, he worked as a truck driver, and he was able to get one super cheap. Fell off the truck, you know?
Hey.
So,
the truck he was delivering.
It's crazy, but no, and I'd have to say the game that got me, that was like, no, I'm going to take this all the way. Brave Fencer Musashi. It was a single player game. I was used to monotonous games because we played Mario, we played Zelda. I played Legend of Zelda, and I loved Legend of Zelda. I've told you I have raved about Legend of Zelda. But let's be fair, once we got to PlayStation, I'd pick up some things I might be able to play with my brother, maybe with some friends, you know, but nothing that I was just playing on my own. If I was playing it, it was a multiplayer thing. So that's what it had to be. And then I got Brave Fencer Musashi. It was like $10. I worked, it was in a bargain bin at Walmart. It had a Final Fantasy VIII demo, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it. I'm going to play it. It has a Final Fantasy VIII demo. It's got a pretty good game. It looks like, you know, pretty interesting. Hilarious. From voice acting to storyline to gameplay, I loved Brave Fencer Musashi. It was a fantastic game, and ever since then, I do look for hilarious, good story-driven games. Like,
I love it when you just take a gamble on a game that's like on clearance on the
I mean, like, that's what we could afford, you know, like.
Exactly, and it becomes like, oh, this game is actually pretty solid.
And it's one of those games that, you know, a couple decades later are worth over $500 now.
No, yeah, for sure. Like, if it had the demo for Final Fantasy VIII, I'm sure that's worth money.
So the funny thing is about that game, and the reason why I picked this game, because it's the one that's most iconic to me, is because I was playing the game. It had 3 discs to it, right? And then it had the demo, and I was like, this is dope. Let's keep going, right? And I go to start playing, and I get to a section where we're fighting giant ants. I'm not going to spoil. I'm just going to let you know, giant effing ants. They come out of nowhere, and it's like, okay, I don't understand this. Let's go. And then I go to change screens while I'm like pursuing something. Complete darkness. I'm like, never changes. I'm like, what? And so of course, I'm like, okay, let it sit for a while. It doesn't work. So I reset. It's like, okay, well, thankfully I saved before this, and I have to go. Like, this is one of those parts where there's no exploring. I got to go this route, you know? And I start doing it. Complete darkness. Nothing's doing. So I even tried the old school, like, we need to sand it down. Found somebody, actually paid money to have it sanded so it might play the game. Nothing. Could not fix it. There was a dud. I was so devastated, and I searched for it. Like, as a child, I was like, I need to figure out where I can get this game. And I ended up buying the game again for more money. For more than that. I think it was like $20-25 when I found it. And at that time, that was a lot of money. So I worked for it, and I got it just to play the game and finish it. That ultimately is why I pick it, because like, I actually dedicated as a kid to working, to making whatever money I could to get this game just so I could finish it, you know? Like,
question.
Yeah.
When you picked up that game, because I'm assuming there was other games with it.
Oh yeah.
And you being broke as F, as we all were at that time, did you look at this game and like, okay, I can get this one game that has 1 desk, or I can get this other game that has 3 desks?
So, admittedly, I got it because I had, at the time, someone had gifted me Final Fantasy VII, and that was fun. I was kind of playing through it, you know? I didn't actually jump into I wasn't fully immersed into Final Fantasy VII as soon as I played it. It's a little confusing. It's a little advanced for me, you know? And so, when I was looking, I saw Final Fantasy VIII. I had seen a friend of mine play Final Fantasy VIII. That one looked really good. And so, I wanted to play that demo. And even more than that, it was the cheapest out of, like, 2 other games, you know? Like, they were all in a shopping cart in the electronics section of Walmart. And so you'd pick them up and they would tell you a price, and it was $10 along with 2 other games. And it's like, well, I like this, you know? And it has Final Fantasy VIII demo. I'm going to play it. And admittedly, the first thing I did when I got it and I opened it was to play the Final Fantasy VIII demo, which was really fun. It's the demo where they're hitting the island for the first time. You got to go through, you mess with a few things, and you fight the spider that chases you back to the beach. I mean, it's just that one section. It teaches you a lot of things in that one demo. I played it a lot before I actually went to Brave Fencer Musashi, and I regretted not just starting with Brave Fencer Musashi. It was such a good game. Guys, I could rave all night. I'm going to end it like, play that game if you want the most Texan American accents on otherwise Japanese culture. The greatest, like, oh, I'm gonna get y'all for this, yes, Musashi, yeah. no, and I'm like,
So I want to say one more thing too. I forgot to mention this. We have new viewers, we have new members in the community, and you know, we have past podcasts where we talk about our favorite games of all time, yada yada yada. Sometimes your all-time favorite game isn't the game that got you into gaming. Do we all agree on that?
Oh yeah,
100%.
100%. Okay. The 100%. Reason I say that is maybe someone decides to go down the path and they're like, hey, you said this game got you into gaming, but you said this game was your all-time favorite. I just want to clarify, Dirk.
Hey, if someone's willing to go down the rabbit hole of podcasts to contradict us, hey, I'm all for it.
Hey, yeah. First off, before you give us your opinion, smash a like, baby. You know, throw a comment down. But second off, I have to agree with you, because I will tell you, my favorite game is, like, of all time is not Brave Fencer Musashi is up there, definitely top 5, but it's not my favorite of all time. You know, and so and we've already discussed, but like, it is what it is. It is a great game. I suggest anyone to play it. And also be kind, because still PlayStation 1 mechanics, and you know, the whole ice floor issue is still a thing. So,
all right. So, Jacob, you want me to go or you?
I can go.
Hey, have at it, brother.
Yeah. So me and Isaac were talking about it yesterday a little bit, and like you said, this game isn't my all-time favorite. No, it can be ranked up top there, but it's not. And it's really two, but the one I want to lean on the most because I got exposed to it first, and it is really what kind of built that hunger. And Isaac could attest to this. We're pretty competitive siblings. Probably because our older brother was just super hyper competitive. Like everything we did had to be a competition.
Literally everything.
So, yes.
Even if they can't do like, Jacob, how many bites can you eat a Jack in the Box taco? I bet I can beat you in 4 bites.
Oh yeah, we did that. That was a challenge, people. That's a true story. It was a hot summer with no AC in the car, windows rolled down.
He deep throated that taco.
I did.
I wish I could have. Well, I mean, maybe
2 bites,
not
dude.
then, but like
2
older,
bites.
yeah.
2 bites.
2 bites?
He got it done in 2 bites.
We were competitive. Yeah.
Mother effer almost choked.
We were competitive, man.
Good duty, though.
Anyways. So I remember, and this was years ago. I was probably about 6, maybe 7. We went to church. It was a, winter. So, for people who don't know, we go to church on Saturdays, and we try not to spend or buy on the Sabbath until about 6:30 or sundown. And so at the church, it's sundown. It's me. It's my older brother. It's my Uncle Marcos.
I'm a baby still.
You're a baby. You're with mom and dad.
I know I was 1 or 2.
Yeah. No, you're like 2 or 3. And so he takes us, and we're used to, and Isaac can attest to this, going to Jack in the Box, going to my grandparents.
The greatest tradition of all time.
Yep. We don't go to Jack in the Box. And I'm like, Mark, where are we going? Just wait and see. Just wait and see.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Where are we going? Just wait and see. All right, just wait. So we go. We pull up to an old classic, Circuit City. For those who don't know, Circuit City used to be the place, man.
Better than Best Buy.
Yup. Oh, Miss Big Red. But anyways, went to Circuit City. Mark, what are we doing here? Just wait and see. Just wait.
I find it weird that you call your uncle by his first name as a child. Like going around like 5 years old, like, Mark, I don't agree with this.
No. So on my dad's side, though it's not traditional, on our dad's side, they didn't like us calling them Theo or Tia.
Oh.
Yeah. So we just called them by their first names. So anyways.
Judgmental.
We go, you're right. These little brown people aren't showing their elders respect.
Bro, I mean, like, it would throw me off if a 5-year-old just comes out and is like, hey, Mark, what are we doing here? This isn't Jack in the Box. Like,
hey, it's the same thing because my kids call me by my first name. My parents are like, why do they do that? So I don't know. Just a thing. But anyway, so we go to electronics. I see it. My uncle picks it up, and it's the Super Nintendo. And so I'm excited. I'm like, oh, heck yes. Because my uncle has been hyping up the Super Nintendo because one of his friends had it. So we get it. So I'm like, but Mark, don't we need an extra controller? Once again, just wait. Just wait. He's like, but what about a game? Just wait. We get to my Olito's house, my grandparents' house. Opens it. It came with 2 controllers and a game. For anyone who can guess the game, mad respect. But if you can't, that's okay. Killer Instinct. One of the best fighting games ever created.
Black cartridge and everything.
Black cartridge in there. It was a Super Nintendo that came with a bonus game, and that was the game it came with. And I still remember it till this day. We were playing it. I didn't know what the F I was doing. My uncle was kicking our butts. But that fueled my hunger to get better at video games. And so that's why I'm putting it as the game that made me into a gamer. The second one would be Super Metroid. But at that time, I was already kind of into games. So
yeah. Well, I respect it because I was going to put Legend of Dragoon, but I actually played Legend of Dragoon later than I did Brave Fencer Musashi. And although I loved the game, I also got stuck in a place where I literally could not move forward. And so I just kind of gave up on it and played it years later. So it's like, as much as I loved it, I fought to get. I get what you're saying, you know. Like yeah. I respect that because, like, no, I can respect a second, you know, like an honorable mention.
And the Legend of Zelda, when you brought that up, I was like, that is another one that was very notable for me. But like, what really drove my hunger was, like I said, we were competitive.
Oh,
my Uncle Mark was the person to beat. Oh, that's a nice one. But I'm talking about like the Nintendo Legend of Zelda, which is in there.
May I?
Want to say, yeah, it's in there.
That's beautiful.
But yeah, Killer Instinct is what kind of drove me to like get better at video games and just gain this love for them.
I respect it. The competitive aspect, which is integrated into your family, as well as just like it was the first game you got, you know? Yeah. I respect it. I mean, the first, like, we had a Super Nintendo and we had Mario, we had F-Zero until my sister put it in the microwave because she wasn't getting us enough attention. I was so sad.
That hurt.
But the biggest thing was, like, Super Nintendo games were kind of expensive, you know? So we had a very select few. And at times, places like Videoville and Blockbuster would come in clutch to be able to play something else. But when the PlayStation came out, things were cheaper. I was doing a little more like working around to try and get money, even, you know, as a kid, just trying to do what I can. So being able to get those games and afford them is what got to me. But I could respect like one of the first games that you would actually have played like that, you know, that whole experience.
It wasn't the first game I ever played, because I played many games before, but it was the one that captivated me.
Yeah. I mean, like the whole lead up, like it was tradition that was broken out of the norm to go get a console to go play this game. That's fantastic. I love it.
Go ahead, Isaac. What you got?
All right. So you know how y'all said like,
that's all the time we got for today. Thank you, everybody.
I'm in charge of this. Nah. So, you know how y'all said like, you know, y'all didn't want to use games later down the line because y'all were already like at that point solidified gamers. I want to argue against that because mine's a little down the line, and the reason I say this is because, Oh yeah, but
and I think that's fine.
Yeah,
you're wrong, but it's fine.
No, the reason I say this is because, like most things, for me at least personally, I get burnout. I'm on a hiatus of anime. Even though I can name animes that got me into anime, right? Same thing, but like I'm kind of like, and then maybe a new one will come out that pulls me back, right? So growing up, I only played specific, or I played in my opinion, the basics of the gaming. Me and Jacob did. We played the fighting games, the platformers, 3D platformers, and you know, and some action games and some shooting games, right? Just the usual, right? And but there's something missing within this list here, and that's what the game that pulled me in was like. I was like, whoa. And my gaming trajectory happened on the GameCube. It was the first console I bought. I feel like that's the console I spent the most hours on. And though, you know, and there's a lot of games on that console that I enjoy, Jacob enjoys, but there was one game that I played that made me, like, I felt like I was part of that world. I was in there. Like, it was such a huge world. I was like, what is this? And how do I get more of it? And it led me down another path that I'm still on to this day. I never knew of JRPGs.
Oh.
and I was introduced to that genre, and that's what catapulted me because it was a game. I had just gotten into anime. The music was phenomenal, and it was on the console that I just bought, or that my first console I ever bought. And that game is Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah.
There you go. The Tales series in general is amazing. That's fantastic.
And no disrespect to Final Fantasy at all. You know, no disrespect to Final Fantasy because I played Pokemon, and you know, Pokemon's a JRPG. I don't care who says it's a JRPG, and you know, I'm used to that turn-based, and you know that turn-based was fine and all that. But playing a JRPG that was 2 discs, it was a big game, and mind you, the GameCube had little discs, so you're also kind of restrained to memory, so they had to do 2 discs. But it was a JRPG that let you attack at will, learn new moves to develop new combos, great music, great characters, great character development. You know, the whole
open world too.
And, you know, an open world, and then you play it this particular way. Then you get to a halfway point where they're like, "Hey, you know how you're like in this world? Well, now you're in this world, and you can get on these flying bikes and just fly all over the place." And you know, the puzzles were great, and just everything about it. And then, like, you know, the side missions were memorable. You know, like, that game set the bar for me when it came to JRPGs, because all of it was just phenomenal. And then, you know, you have the devil weapon, the devil arms, and then you have, like, you know, these these secret boss battles that you had to do. It was just, for a game at that time, and I'm sure, and I know there's games that have a lot to it too back in the day, but for me, that game was like, I felt like it was just endless content. And then where back in the day where DLC wasn't a thing, everything you needed was there already.
I miss those days.
Facts.
Whenever you play a game and everything, including
Worked.
the hidden stuff, things you might find, you know, it's like, what the crap? I get
Not to go off topic, but I miss those type of games. I miss playing a game and unlocking the secret character instead of having to wait and buy a DLC. Like, I don't enjoy buying DLC.
And then, like,
I hate that.
No, and then, like, you know, I fell in love with the Tales series. Not a popular opinion. Tales of Vesperia sucked, but you know, Tales of Symphonia was a phenomenal JRPG, which in turn, you know, Jacob got a PS2 later down the line, which, if you know, the PS2 has some great JRPGs on there. Yeah. And I went down the rabbit hole with whatever games Jacob bought, one being the music you're hearing right now, Dot Hack Infection. And then, you know, I got it, and then I started playing the Kingdom Hearts series. And then it just went on from there. Like, later, like, on different consoles, whatever, JRPGs became one of my favorite genres. And yeah, so Tales of Symphonia is that one game that, like, it shot me. Like, if the gaming had any, like, if I had any doubt about gaming, it was gone, because that game showed me there's more to just than shooting your enemies or jumping on X platforms, getting to the end of it. It was story rich and something that I wasn't used to at that time.
Oh, it's good stuff. That's good stuff. It's a great series too, you know.
Yeah. I can't even clown on it because it's one of my favorites too. And like you were saying, I would say Tales games have kind of fell off until what's the one I just beat?
Arise.
Until Arise, a lot of them I felt were kind of just rinse and repeat. Like, at that time, I felt Tales was way better than Final Fantasy. But then I kind of got on a Final Fantasy kick. And it wasn't until Tales of Arise where I'm like, this is what I missed about Tales games. Right here. So.
Real quick, just to defend my statement, I do like Final Fantasy. I beat 1 and 2 on my iPhone back in the day. I like Final Fantasy so much. I pre-ordered the Pixel Remastered. So I like Final Fantasy. Okay, it is at that
there's
time.
nothing wrong.
Tales of Symphonia's fighting mechanics blew it out the water for me.
Yeah, I would say at that time, Tales games were better.
I mean, so that, and I'd said it before, it's like, it's not that I hadn't, you know, because I played it late in my time, you know? It's not that I hadn't played Final Fantasy VII. It's just that at the time, it was like, okay, that's a little much for me. There's so much going on, you know? And so I'd grab another game, and honestly, it was playing Brave Fencer Musashi that kind of got me back into it, and of course, Legend of Dragoon. It got me back into playing it. And I always see Final Fantasy games kind of like your favorite Gundam series. Like, you may not like every Gundam series that comes out, but you're going to love one that got you, usually your first one. And you're definitely going to like at least a couple in the series, you know?
It's true. Like it's true. Like, you got that one Gundam that you love, that you swear is the best Gundam of all of them.
G Gundam.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's
hold on.
My boy.
You're not talking about this one, right?
Yeah. That
Like the
is
dust
the
off of
best
them.
Gundam.
Like the dust off of this thing. Talking about this one?
Oh, the one and only, baby. No Monkash.
With this?
Neo Japan. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know which house to rob. Oh my gosh. But I agree with you. It's like, no, then there's nothing wrong with it. Honestly, in a little off topic, but we can get to the end. Final Fantasy was a great thing, but I think one of the biggest things about Final Fantasy, well, two things. One, it was so big. It's the biggest JRPG. So everyone knew about it. Everyone experienced it. But whenever you experience it, you see the things that you may want a little different. From my personal viewpoint for Final Fantasy, I always wanted a different fighting style. Turn-based is fine, sure, but man, we're playing in these JRPGs. They look good. They're looking better and better and better. Why can't I just be free-running and fighting things like we have now? Of course, back in the day, it's what I wanted. Eventually, that got me into playing things like Kingdom Hearts, Grandia, which I guess was a little different, but still, you know, you had some free-flowing fights. Radiata Stories, things that allowed you to do more free-flowing, like fighting and stuff. And Crisis Core. When Crisis Core came out, even though you'd have to fight in those arenas, you're still free-flowing fighting. And it is, and so for me, that's what it was.
We seek it,
seek it thus and take to the skies. Like, don't Loveless, baby. Act 1. Don't even get me started. My thing is, that's the thing for me with Final Fantasy. Is like, it's not that I won't bring it up. Obviously, there's an honorable mention towards it. But after playing it, after playing it so long and so many iterations, you start to see exactly what you want as a gamer. And honestly, I feel like that's kind of what pushed me towards other things. That's why I look for more free-flowing. That's why I love Final Fantasy VII Remake. That's why I loved Final Fantasy 15, you know? Oh, yeah. And I probably would like 16 once I play it. So that's just thoughts off the topic. So,
yeah. So just going to wrap it up here. But let's do a quick recall. So my favorite game, or not favorite game. The game that I went to game was Tales of Symphonia. Juice was
Brave Fencer Musashi, baby.
Oh yeah, and Jacob.
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct. All right. So we're doing a recording of this. We were gonna do a live, but we're gonna say that for the next topic. It's gonna be Juicy. You wanna mention what that topic is?
So, while we were talking about this topic, we all were coming together and we were thinking about it. What got us through COVID? Let's be fair. Gaming and a lot of different special interests really blew up during the COVID time. But during COVID, it was a scary time. We were isolated. We were all just doing everything we could to keep sane, keep safe, keep healthy. Gaming exploded. There were many controversies around it, but ultimately, I think we all found something that kept us going to give us the community, the camaraderie.
It's the thing that saved GameStop.
I mean,
speaking of which, GameStop's going to retro now. I don't know if y'all saw that, but GameStop's going to retro.
Ah, that's amazing.
They're going to retro. But yeah, but that's the topic. And we're gonna do that live. I think Juice. I think you're down to do that live.
I'd be down to that, like, because I'd love to hear what some, especially all in the Discord, anyone's like thoughts. We want to hear what got you through it. You know, we're going to talk about what got us through it. Definitely those 1 to 2 games that just if I didn't have that, I don't know what I would have done.
Oh yeah.
And maybe this will be a series and we'll talk about other interests, but for now, that'll be the next thing on a live. Look forward to it, of course.
Yep.
And of course, let us know what games got shot into like
I'd
gaming.
love to hear it. Yep. Hit it down below.
Down below. And if you like this kind of content, make sure you leave a like. If you don't like it, go ahead and give it a dislike. If you don't like our choices, hey, that's fine. It's all personal opinions. No one's wrong, no one's right. And if there's like a series you would like to see more often, let us know. We're looking at a bi-weekly podcast schedule we're gonna go with. Yeah, and of course I still got my live streams, which are moving to Saturdays instead of Fridays. We do Smash, and every now and again I'll stream randomly during the week, and I'll be playing something random, you know. And if that's something that interests you, we have a good community. Like I said, we got some cool, fun people in chat. So you make sure to subscribe, ring the notification bell that we know when we go live. And I think that about wraps it up. So till next time, guys, we'll catch y'all later. Deuces.
Later.